I'm in the AWS console. If AWS, Amazon Web Services, is all new to you, simply Google for it and make sure to get into it. Basically, you will need to create an account on Amazon Web Services. You can use your normal Amazon account if you want. And after logging it in, you should see this console here. Now, here's a very important disclaimer. What I'm showing here will be free of charge if this is a new Amazon Web Services account within the 12-month you get everything or you get a lot for free trial period. Now you definitely have to check if these conditions still apply at the point of time you're watching this video. So if using Amazon Web Services as free as we will do is still free. And you will also need to make sure that you're not using other services which might lead to more services being used, higher volumes being used than are free, so that you get possible charges you don't want to get. Now, with that disclaimer out of the way, which basically is have a look at what you're doing here, I will show you how to deploy it here. Now, the steps I show you here will generally be the same on any hosting provider you choose. It's very simple. So I will use S3, which is its cloud storage service, but this also allows you to host single page applications, static applications, where you don't need to run any server-side code. And we don't need to do that here. So click on S3 there. And once you're there, you want to create a new bucket. Now you see I already have some buckets, but that's no problem. I'll create a new one here, choose any region, and I will name it Vue.js deploy here. So hit create here, and this will give you this new bucket. Now there are a couple of things we need to set up here to enable it for website hosting. Most important here, static website hosting, we want to enable this, of course. And our index document will be the index HTML file, as will be the error document. Important, we need to set our error document to index HTML to make sure that in case of 404 errors, we're getting back our index HTML. I discussed this in the routing section. This is important. Otherwise, the routes we have in our frontend application will not be recognized. So make sure to set it up like this. Now here, let's hit save to save these changes. Now with that, we enabled this static website deployment, but we also need to add the permissions to make sure that people are able to view this web page. There we want to add a bucket policy. And now for the policy to use, we can simply Google for Amazon static web page, AWS static web page, where you find an example article walking you through the required steps. And if you scroll down there, you will see the configure your buckets step, which gives you this permission you should copy into your bucket policy here. So copy it in here. And now there you need to replace example.com with your bucket. So this is Vue.js deploy in my case here. And then you may hit save here. And now you could also enable logging as you see here, but I don't want to do this here. Instead, we'll jump to deploying the web page now. Now, deploying the web page will need us to create the index HTML file. We already do have this. And now we may upload the files we want to upload here. Well, that is very simple. We now go to our bucket here, and there we simply click on it and click upload. Now here we want to add the files to upload. Make sure to navigate to your Vue.js folder here and upload the index.html file. And thereafter also the build.js file in the dist folder. And now this is the step which is the same for no matter where you host your files. You need to ship these two files to your page, to the hosting service where you're hosting your application. So you may hit start upload thereafter. And this is already done since it isn't that big. Now with the two files uploaded, you need to create a folder, name it dist, and move your build.js file to that folder. So here you basically wanna cut it here, click into that folder and paste it in here. So with that, you now set up the same folder structure you had locally. And with that, you can go back to all buckets, view the properties of your Vue.js deploy bucket and hit the endpoint of your page to now see your page running on the internet. This is how you deploy it on Amazon S3. And again, it's the same on any other service. Upload the index.html file and the build.js bundle in your folder, in the dist folder, and it should run like this. Again, also make sure to redirect all 404 errors to your index.html file so that Vue.js can handle this. And this is our deployed app. Now you can follow through the other steps in this deployment guide on AWS here. If you also want to set up CloudFront to optimize the distribution and also set up dynamic gzipping to compress the files when they are transferred. Or if you're deploying it somewhere else, definitely have a look at the specific configurations your host might need. But this is how easy it is. Again, key part, prepare it for deployment by stripping out the warnings and minifying it, and then upload index.html and the dist folder with the bundle.